Hey guys, it's Mark from Guitar Riffs Everyday with my very first YouTube video. So I thought I would kick off with you where I kicked off with my friends some 30 years ago when we started to learn to play the guitar, with the 4 chords that every beginner needs to know. Now I know you would have seen lots of videos of this on YouTube, but there's a really good reason for that, because these are properly essential chords. With these 4 chords you can play pretty much anything. But what we're going to have a look at is how we can simplify those chords, make them a little bit easier, and make the mechanics of moving from one chord to the other really, really straightforward. So the 4 chords that we're going to have a look at are a G, an E minor, a C, and a D. But we didn't play them like that because we figured out quite quickly that if we modify these chords ever so slightly, still keeping the sound of them, but modify them ever so slightly, moving between them as beginners got so much easier. And what we didn't know is that, you know, when we play a G chord, there are numerous ways that we can play this G. When we play the C, there are numerous ways that we can play this C, and we just kind of stumbled across them. So let's go down and have a look at my fretboard, and I'll show you what our conversion is going to be first. Then I'll show you how we can start kind of working, you know, from one chord to the other to get them really smooth. So the first chord that you might have come across is your G, which probably looks like this. The only change we're going to make to that is we're going to put 2 fingers on the bottom. Now this doesn't actually change the chords a little bit, it just gives you different octaves of the same notes. Okay, the second chord we're going to have a look at is an E minor, which you'll know from the A string 2nd fret and the D string 2nd fret, just like this. Third chord is going to be your C, which is going to be your 1st fret on your B string, your 2nd fret on your D string, and your 3rd fret on your A string. Okay, then finally the D. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's start with that G. We're going to get our 4 fingers on, which as a beginner it might take you a little bit longer to kind of get all 4 fingers in place, because it's worth it. Okay, so we're going to give that G a strum. Okay, sounds fine. We're not that worried if we kind of get this at the moment, you know, and a couple of dead notes. We're not that worried because we've got 5 other strings that are going to take over that sound, and that would just get organically better. You know, those notes that are deadened now, in time they will just resolve themselves, so don't worry about that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this finger, I'm just going to move it underneath my index finger. So this gives me an E minor 7, which is normally perfectly usable in place of an E minor. And look at how much easier the change is. Ready? 1, 2. It's so straightforward. And then instead of going to the C, we're going to go to a C add 9, which again gives us pretty much the same sound. You'll find that you can't use this on kind of all folk songs and things like that. Sometimes it's just too shiny. But for most sort of pop and rock, that's kind of where we're going. And the change is just so easy. And then down to the D, all I'm going to do, I kind of bring these fingers out like a spider bite if I kind of, you know, if I overemphasize it a bit. And then I'm just going to snap them down. As they come down, my little finger comes off. And the great thing about this chord structure is watch this finger right here. Ready? So you can see straight away that this finger doesn't move, which is brilliant because it gives me a reference point for, you know, for literally the whole kind of chord structure. And I'm just kind of rotating around that. Okay, so you can practice this. We can give it, you know, we can sort of play some really simple strums. I'll play 2 strums on each chord and just keep kind of rotating. Kind of already hear it. Like, it's really funny when you play certain chord structures, it already sounds like 20,000 other songs that we've ever heard, and it's because it's one of the most popular chord structures. So once you've had a little play with that, try kind of throwing those chords around a little bit, and all of a sudden you find every Beatles song that they've ever written. But these are going to be the most essential chords. You are going to find at one point you're going to come across a song that's going to need a bar chord, but we're going to cover that in another video. So for now, have a practice with those 4 chords, and then go onto Google and search for 4 chord songs, because that's the chord transition that's going to come up. It's going to be a G. And if it's not, if you're over on something like Ultimate Guitar or something like that, then hit the little transpose button. Find a really simple song. Anything by Ed Sheeran is great because he uses these chords to amazing effect. Hit the transpose button and switch those chords around until you see these songs using a G, an E minor 7, a C add 9 and a D, or a G, an E minor, a C and a D, because of course they're interchangeable. So first ever video for absolute beginners, the first chords you need to know. So I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, because there's loads more videos coming. Everything that we've got over on TikTok is going to migrate over to here. So I will see you for the next one soon. Have a fantastic day.